but you are missing a wonderful photo, by the way. The aim of this presentation is to investigate interaction between a counselor and a counselee, a student and this context, and to observe different types of practices that are used. I wanted to pay special attention to pausing and silence, but when the counseling sessions moved into the virtual space, it became still possible, but of course with different implications, because silence, like for example now, it means something else than silence means in face-to-face communication, so the interpretations will be slightly different. And the questions I wanted to find answers to were whether students are capable to address issues that are personally important to them in those counseling sessions, and what practices result in students becoming active or even more active during this dialogue. Okay. So first I will explain the background of this mini study. I will explain what I mean by counseling session. Then I will show you the analysis. I will speak about speech categories that I was trying to identify. I will have a look at turn-taking, the dynamics of this interaction, and I will pay attention to what I'm going to call active listening. Okay. My background is here at Masaryk University. I'm working for the Language Center, and I'm based at Faculty of Arts. And I'm also a PhD student at Faculty of Education. And the observations I'm going to speak about today all apply to one of our elective courses. The course is called English Autonomously. Okay. English miracle.
Yeah, I don't know. Now it's working.
Yeah, good. Good. Okay. So let me just go back to the photo that you missed. No, I will not risk this. Okay. So this course was designed as support for our students for their autonomous language learning. It was very much inspired by autonomous learning modules at University of Helsinki, and we actually adopted also some of the terminology from our colleagues in Helsinki. Maybe some of them are online. If so, then hello, it's working now. There's something happened and it works now.
And I don't know if it works in the stream. Doing this.
Yep. Thank you very much. So we adopted some of the terminology. That's why we use the term counseling sessions, even if I believe that what we are doing corresponds to what is usually defined as language advising or advising in language learning. Here I use a combined definition of this learning resource as something that should help learners to become more aware, reflective, and effective regarding their language learning, and supporting them in becoming more autonomous, motivated, and self-regulated. Once again, I'm not there. Okay, somehow, yeah, good. The language advising in our course is organized in the form of 3 sessions, one-to-one sessions, normally happening face-to-face, last semester happening partially online, and I'm afraid that this might become the new normal for this. The first one is about planning. That's an opportunity for students to finalize their self-assessment, to speak about their goals, and basically to set plans, and even write it down and sign it as an agreement, learning agreement, study plan. So last semester, some of those still happened face-to-face, and then there was this crazy change, and we were experimenting with different formats and with different tools how to communicate. So some of them happened on Skype, some of them happened on Facebook. This is an example of a counseling that was done through chat. And it might have been a way for some students, maybe those who really are extremely shy or something like that, but for me it was not an ideal way. So I'm not going to analyze, I'm not going to speak about the first sessions because it was really very varied and very confused, I have to say. There were some new practices introduced, but it was difficult to analyze and to draw some conclusions from this. So what I'm going to look at in more detail are the counseling sessions that happened in teams. That's where I gradually moved for one-to-one interaction with my students. Of course, I will only use data that I have students' consent to use. I decided to speak about those where I was able to collect 2 video recordings, because even later some of the students still didn't have access to camera or didn't have functional camera all the time. And I will, for this presentation, I will mention 2 examples, 2 students, and I will use them anonymously as FB and AK. And the procedure was that I transcribed the recordings, included notes on what I'm going to describe as active listening, then categorized the speech acts, did a kind of analysis of turn-taking, with paying special attention to this active listening and to its effect. So this is what is the aim of the second and third session. The second one, happening in the middle of the semester, is focusing on monitoring the learning progress and process. These are always sample questions. The meetings are not scripted. They should be as flexible as possible. But these are guidelines that we have for us in the counselling position. So as it gives us a structure, and it can demonstrate to you what is the topic of the second monitoring session and the final evaluation session. These are the categories that were present in both in all the recordings that I was analyzing. There is certain logic to it, that it starts from what I would consider the easiest to the more challenging, more with higher metacognition level activities on the side of the student, and the counselor. There is an opposite change. He or me, actually becoming less and less present in the interview and the interaction. When I was trying to categorize and find a system, I used this Czekansky's discourse analysis results, where she identified 6 basic discourse types, starting from, for example, an organizational sequence, which is when you discuss some given agenda, administrative agenda of the course, for example. And I was most interested in what she calls cooperative work. That is defined as follows. It happens between the learner and the advisor. They focus on an issue that could be needs, habits, methods, strategies, and it may lead to planning, choosing priorities. Okay. I wanted to demonstrate to you how individualized those sessions are, and I was trying to offer some visual tool, and then I came up with this very primitive scheme. So this is it shows the dynamics, the interaction of one of the sessions, and I think that's where the cooperative work starts. And it actually helped me to realize that, and maybe because they were online, that usually the establishing conversation or the establishing contact part was rather short. I was maybe that's also an observation for me. Maybe I should have invested a bit more time into this. Then there is a phase that probably would correspond to reporting, according to Czekansky. This is where they just describe the facts, describe the activities, and later on it moves into really this cooperation with this particular student taking more and more control. This is the second student, where, as you can see at the very beginning, and once again this might be an insight for me, should I have intervened somehow? Should I have interrupted? By the way, it's him, maybe you wouldn't guess so. And there was a lot of, there were like 10 different speech acts, and it took us a while then to deconstruct it and to go back step by step, topic by topic. And so the cooperation started also only much later. Okay, so that's what I would like. I wanted to observe whether what are the cause and effect relations. Yeah, whether asking reflective question leads to reflection, or whether asking for clarification leads to students giving details. How does it fire back, and how does this cooperative work really work? With paying special attention to these acts that I thought are the ones where the student is most active or most proactive even. When they introduce new topic, not only respond to what I was saying, but bring in new topics, mention difficulties as a new topic, not when asked, but really mentioning that, and or ask for help, plan, take initiative. Yeah, these are the categories I decided were crucial for me for this particular observation. Okay, and yeah, so for example, this student, you could identify the moment in the interview where she introduced new topic and when she mentioned a difficulty. And with this one, it was all present already and at the very beginning of the interview. Okay, yes. So then I did a bit more detailed insight with the actual statements, and I was trying to analyze the sequences. Yeah, what is actually happening? What leads? What has happened before the student brought up a new topic, or what preceded the situation when she mentioned her difficulties, and what preceded that she started to plan. Okay, and I discovered kind of pattern that the student was perfectly capable of describing. Yeah, that was no problem with that. Some reflective questions led. After some reflective questions, she still stayed at a descriptive level, but with more and more reflective questions, the reflection started. Asking for clarification helped sometimes, and active listening, which now it's high time to explain. I started to use this label for situations when I'm either saying completely nothing and there's a lot of body language, like nodding, which luckily enough I observed pretty soon into those online conversations that these are extremely important gestures and these keep the interaction going on. And I would include into active listening also sounds like and okay even, but well, I already consider to be this category, acknowledgement. These were verbal comments that I made. It's okay, it's great to hear, and those kind of affirmative and acknowledging comments. Yes, so these are the two categories. And they were always present when the students started to contribute more to the interaction. Yeah, so evaluating only appeared after a combination of those acts, and I will demonstrate that by a short video sample, hopefully. Please have a look at the silence. In this short sample, there will be two situations. In one, I think I managed well, and I not totally planned, but there was a bit of a silence that was supportive. And then there is also a moment where I didn't do that, I messed. But luckily enough, the student managed to cope with that, and I didn't lose the situation, which could have happened. So this is also an observation. Yeah, really.
Wonderful. You mentioned vocabulary. Do you think this was also helpful for your vocabulary development?
Actually, I got many tasks from my chemistry courses when I was required reading science articles. And when I started to read this organic chemistry book I mentioned before, it really helped me with vocabulary. So I saw the improvement there.
Yeah, and that was in your original plan, I think, right? That you wanted to use the text.
Okay. that actually worked out well. But there were also things that didn't work out, and that now I have to find something else.
Some kind of compensations, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Because, for example,
what didn't work out, if I may ask?
Yeah. So at first I was about to say something, but I didn't, and I think this was why she was capable of mentioning this difficulty. She didn't only say it worked well, but she said, okay, but there was something not completely well. And then, of course, and it's also the recording does not reflect the reality completely, so I don't really know how much of this overlap there was. But yeah, I should have waited, and really the silence is important in those moments. Students just need more, I know it's not a big observation, but yes, students need more space. Yes, so I think really that I would emphasize here that it was acknowledging, yes, okay, but mainly it was this active listening that allowed the difficulties to arise. Let us have a look at the second student, the one that within the first 3 minutes, he was speaking for almost 3 minutes, and there was everything. There was goal setting, there was reflecting. It was a bunch of different topics that he mentioned. So we needed really to sort it out a bit. And I wanted to analyze what were the steps that led him to planning, because it was in the middle of this crazy semester, so he really had to recreate his plan. And then we will have a look at evaluating. This will be from the third listening. So here is a transcript. It's interesting that he actually considered planning as being a difficulty. So within in the very first statement or series of statements, he mentioned his own difficulty being planning. I don't know where I aim, what my goal is. I don't have a structured plan. And that's what he was describing as a problem. So I was very happy to identify later in the recording a situation where he actually moved on into a plan. Where is the video? Yeah. Okay.
You know, because I really just want to learn the important stuff. So that's yeah. And so when you say maybe I should focus on adjectives today, it's hard to do it because podcast is usually about something really different than adjectives. And maybe the adjectives are not really, even. Yeah, I think I should maybe say today I will focus on some parts of the English. Yeah.
Maybe adjectives was not a good example, yeah, but
yeah, that's problem. I don't know, what's the how should I? Well, what are these things I should pay attention?
Look at me, yeah? I know how happy I am. And when I was saying that to one of my friends from a very different background, he was like, consider this a success? Student basically tells you that your idea is stupid and you consider this a success. I do. Because I really think that what happened there was that he took initiative. Yeah, that's yeah. So first, and we didn't listen to the whole bit because for time reasons. But I gave him an advice, and he was listening. There was nodding and he reflected on it, and then later he came back to this. This what happened. There was 2 minutes in between those two acts, and he reflected on it yet again. He evaluated this as an option. And then he disregarded that, even with a very ironic smile. But then it brought him into making his own plan. And of course, this plan must be better because it's individualized. It's made by him. He knows himself much better. What works for him, what works for me or other students does not necessarily have to work for him. So I consider this a success. And similarly, when we met for the last session, I was extremely happy to him still mentioning difficulties that arised earlier. It's difficult to self-evaluate. He was really very nicely naming the problem that he is at the descriptive level. He is not capable of evaluating. And this changed a bit because, in the third session, he was still he was thinking about how to measure success. Yeah, it has been an activity he was involved in, yeah, thinking about measuring success, thinking about evaluation, and he could, for some specific areas, he could name the progress, he could identify progress, and it's pretty realistic account as well, yeah? That he doesn't know whether he will be really able to use them, okay? And I think you deserve one more video because it's working now, so let us enjoy this. And this is a bit more of evidence that he got there. Was always very elegant for the counselling.
But as we were speaking last time, we were speaking that I should more somehow repeat the vocabulary, and so I did the self-talk, which I wouldn't do normally, and I was focused more about new vocabulary. Yeah. So I'm quite happy that it was really, I didn't have to force myself. It was really, I'm quite surprised. Yeah, it happened like this.
Okay, so let me conclude. I think that at least, there's a spelling mistake, sorry, that at least those two students in those particular sessions, they were able to address their issues, they were able to bring into the discussion topics that they were relevant and that they were important for them. They were able to be active, to take control over the counseling process. And I think what is an ideal kind of interaction is this cooperative work, where what advisor do is reflective questions supported by acknowledgement, by active listening, first of all, and that this combination leads really to students being able to focus on their difficulties, to reflect on them, to evaluate possibilities, to evaluate their progress, and to do planning of their future learning process. So speech is silver, silence is gold. Thank you very much. Ready to answer questions if there are any. And I will be attending the conference dinner, so we can also discuss it there.
May I ask?
Yeah, sure.
I was wondering, like the giving advice part of was it like intentional and only like a language-wise?
It depends, but it depends. It can be both. It can be a learning-related advice. It can be advice on strategies, time management. Yes,
Anything.
It's really anything. Yeah, yeah. There was a question in the monitoring session that is there something I can help you with? And they can really say, okay, tenses, or they can say, I would need some help on how to organize my time or how to motivate myself.
It's very wide scope, you know.
Yeah. It's very tricky if this is kind of psychological issues. Yeah, they want to bring in, and we have discussed that earlier this week with the colleagues. That's why we really need to see some limits. Yeah.
When it's the time.
Yeah.
Pass the students where.
Yeah. Just to tell them, okay, I cannot do that for you. Yeah, maybe we can discuss. I don't know. Yeah, your routines, about learning routines rather than something else. Yeah. I think you are tired.
Actually, I do see someone asking a question on the chat. Dina is asking, if you have the feeling that something is not going to bring a lot for the student, what would you do?
If something is
If you have the feeling that something is not going to bring a lot for the student.
Okay. Should this refer to like activities that they are not beneficial enough for them? Like ideally, you can make a check on them, like let them check. Yeah, do you think this is useful for you?
She says an activity.
Yeah, make them ask about that. Yeah, do you consider this activity useful? Once again, yeah, ideally you should not be telling them directly, yeah, what your opinion is, or just offer it, or rather open this for their own reflection. I think that would be a good solution. Yeah, to say like, try to suppress your opinion and just open this as a topic. And it's one of the questions we actually ask them during these monitoring sessions. Yeah, have you been enjoying the activities? Do you think they are helping you? Can you see some progress? Can you see some benefits? Are you happy with your plan? Would you like to change it? Things like that. Joe is one of the counselors as well, by the way. So.
Yeah, I really loved seeing the videos. That was really nice to see the interaction, because that's what it's all about, you know, like being there with the student.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question. This is from Hannah. Why do you say that you will limit psychological things outside the counseling time?
Because I'm not a psychologist. Yeah, I feel that what I can offer is expertise in language learning. Yeah, I'm a language learner, and expertise in like language maybe, and maybe a bit of learning, but I'm not expert in psychology. Yeah. So of course sometimes it's very difficult to define, and there are many psychological aspects in learning, and there are many psychological aspects of language acquisition. That's probably where it can overlap and where I can maybe offer something. But other than that, I think it needs really clear distinction.
What kind of stuff comes up that you say was like low self-esteem, or like?
For example, some kind of it's partially about that. There can be some barriers, some previous unfortunate experiences with learning languages or using languages. So for sure there are many border areas that we touch on, right? But I think the aims are simply different, right? We are not there to provide them with therapy. We are there to help them to get better learners, or to learn better. So I think that in that way it could be also somehow defined.
How often does that happen? That you think, this?
Well, it's rather often the case that, and it makes sense, that this course is to a certain degree ideal for students who suffer from certain psychological issues. I can name maybe one case where there was really a very special student with special needs. Unfortunately enough, we have such a center here at our university, so we are cooperating. So he would attend counseling sessions with us, and then he would attend those supportive sessions with them as well.
So why did Helsinki come up with the word counselling? Because it is like
I think it's because that's what they were using in Helsinki, and we kind of adopted it before we, then, and then it already stayed with us. It has a tradition. It has been established as a term. But it's tricky. It also, when we use, there is not a good equivalent in Czech, and it has also different connotations. There is a wonderful article about this written by Joe Lennon, advisor, counsel, coach. So I think that's why it's important, and we spend quite a lot of time on this during introductory sessions to the whole course to explain to students this role. I think a very good point. Thank you. Yeah,
not only my article, but also our group written article addresses that in the very beginning, in the introduction. We counselors in the course wrote an article together, and I think in the intro we talk about the word that we use in Czech.
And I mean, me personally, I don't like the word counselee, so I speak about students, but it would be also a logical pair, counselor, counselee, or advisor, advisee.
And what do you call it in Czech? Sorry.
That's it, we use Czech, like variant of the English word, Konzultace, so counselingy, mám třetí counseling. It sounds terrible, I know. In the literature, it's more often used advising, but then they, for example, speak about counseling skills, yeah, being used in advising process. So it's really a terminological field that needs. Maybe I should have explained that a bit more carefully. Sorry. Okay, good. Is there someone presenting after me? I think I should finish now. No? Okay.
You're the last one. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so thanks.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being patient with the problems at the very beginning. Yeah.